They were both just children, one left to die in silence, the other left behind like he didn't matter. What happened next exposed two stories of neglect so brutal. It's a shock either one was even discovered.
Welcome to Love and Murder, Heartbreak to Homicide, your midweek mini edition. Kai is off this week for an event, so this week's cases are mini episodes. We are Kai's AI hosts, bringing you cases every Wednesday and Friday. I am AI Jensen, joined by Jane and Jessica.
So let's address the elephant in the room. Today's episode is late. Blame Kai. She got so busy in dealing with her event that she mismanaged her time.
Shame, shame, shame.
But she still wanted to get the case out because it's better late than never.
Now, we invite you to listen to this episode all the way to the end, and if you like our retelling, then please subscribe so you don't miss any more cases. Patreon.com/loveandmurder. You can also subscribe to the Patreon using two options. Either for free, where you get some benefits, or you can choose one of our bonus tiers to get extra cases, case content, early release episodes, and more. You're also helping Kai to continue shouting these victims' cases from the mountaintop. Patreon.com/loveandmurder. Okay, Kai made you wait long enough. Let's get into your two midweek mini cases.
On March 2nd, 2024, just after 7:30 a.m., Birmingham Fire and Rescue were called to the extended stay America Motel off US 280 on Cahaba Park Circle in Alabama. Inside one of the rooms, they found 13-year-old Aston Starkey unresponsive. Aston, who had Down syndrome, was rushed to Grandview Medical Center. He was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. The investigation started as an unclassified death, but even at the hospital, first responders thought that something wasn't right. On June 6th, over 3 months later, Shelby County Coroner Lena Evans released the autopsy findings. Aston died from malnutrition and dehydration, complicated by neglect. The medical examiner ruled his death a homicide. The next day, June 7th, an arrest warrant for murder was issued for Aston's mother, 53-year-old Serena Starkey. But by then, she was gone. Authorities launched a manhunt. Serena and Aston had moved frequently, never staying too long in one place. Aston had been born in Florida. Before Birmingham, they may have lived in Montgomery. Neighbors and officials said Aston wasn't enrolled in school and was rarely, if ever, seen by a doctor. There was no record of him receiving consistent care. The motel had become their new temporary home. For nearly 3 weeks, law enforcement searched for Serena. Then, on June 21st, detectives were notified by the Southwestern Institute of Forensic Sciences in Dallas, Texas. Serena had been found dead. By June 26th, Birmingham police publicly confirmed her death. There was no foul play suspected. The cause and manner of her death remain pending an autopsy. The murder case against her ended without an arrest, a trial, or any chance for answers. The questions about how a child with Down syndrome was allowed to deteriorate to such a degree, without medical care, school, or basic necessities, remain unanswered. And now, with both Aston and Serena gone, so does the full story. A child quietly starved in a motel room, and no one noticed until it was too late.
What did you think of this case? Do you think the mother committed suicide so that she couldn't be caught? That's what we think happened, but that's just our opinion. This next case is out of Killeen, Texas. Let's get into it, Jane.
On July 28, 2024, just before 10 a.m., Killeen police were dispatched to an apartment in the 600 block of West Hallmark Avenue. A neighbor had called in a welfare check after seeing that a small child was, quote, hanging out of a broken window. They also said that a, quote, aggressive dog was trying to attack the child. The dog was, quote, charging at residents who were trying to pull the child out, and even, quote, went after any adults trying to save him. When officers arrived, they found a 16-month-old boy with his head and shoulders hanging out of a first-floor window. The window had been patched with plexiglass and cardboard. The toddler wore only a t-shirt. He was covered in feces, and officers noted visible diaper rash on his skin. Police removed the cardboard and plexiglass and climbed through the window. Inside, there were no adults, just the baby and 2 dogs. One of the dogs was aggressive, but both dogs seemed protective of the baby. Signs indicated that, quote, precautions had been taken to leave the victim alone without a sitter. Every other window was locked, the front door was deadbolted, and the kitchen was blocked off with a baby gate. Officers called the child's mother, 25-year-old Reese Louise Myers. She told them she was in San Antonio, nearly 150 miles away, or about a 2.5-hour drive away, visiting a man she'd met on Hinge. She had been there since the day before. Reese said she'd left the child in the care of a babysitter she'd found on Facebook. But when police contacted the alleged babysitter, she told them she hadn't spoken to Reese since December 2023. She even showed officers her Facebook messages to confirm there had been no communication since then. According to a former roommate who lived with Reese in October 2023, this wasn't the first time she'd left her son alone overnight. The roommate told police that Reese believed her son would sleep through the night and that she often wouldn't return until the next day. She also reported signs of neglect. The toddler was taken to a nearby hospital and placed in the custody of Child Protective Services. Police, quote, told the mother to return to Killeen, but she, quote, allegedly never returned to Killeen for her son. Police obtained a warrant and tracked her to California. On November 5th, she was arrested by the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Office at the Fort Irwin Army Base, 1,365 miles away from her son. She was extradited to Texas and booked into the Bell County Jail. She now faces charges of abandonment and child endangerment. The story quickly gained attention online. Mugshots and headlines went viral. Many expressed shock and anger over the situation. One person commented,
"That's what happens when a child has a child."
Except for the fact that Reese Myers isn't a teenager. She's 25 years old enough to know better. She drove 150 miles to meet a man, left her toddler alone with 2 dogs, no diaper, and no supervision.
No thanks to this piece of trash mother, the baby survived.
What are your thoughts on this case? Can you believe this woman? Leave your thoughts on both cases in the comments below, and Kai will read it in a future episode. Don't forget to go and join us in the Patreon for more content. Patreon.com/loveandmurder. Thanks for listening, thanks for your support, and we'll see you in the next episode.